G'day, Uncle Archie. It's a privilege to chat with you today. Just before we start, I wanted to say I'm coming to you from Gubbi Gubbi country on the Sunshine Coast, and I'd like to pay my deep respects to the Gubbi Gubbi elders, past, present, and emerging. Whereabouts are you today?
Oh, we're in Coffs Harbour.
Oh, cool. You're on the road with your latest record.
Yeah, with the anthology. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are so thrilled to be hosting you at the festival. When I think of folk music, I think of it as great storytellers who speak about who we are and what we're about. And I think you're one of the most wonderful embodiments of the spirit of folk. Would you consider yourself a folk musician?
Yeah, in that sense, yeah. It's, folk music is about that. It's about the stories of in particular, of people and places, and that's what folk music is. Yeah.
Yeah. So on our opening night concert, we're going to be featuring your beautiful song, Let Love Rule, which is the title track of your album of about 5 years ago, I think, or maybe 6 years ago, actually. And it really is such a love song to our country. And well, to me, it feels like a love song to our country and a call out for people to remember to let love rule their hearts. Yeah. And so we've had our community choir rehearsing at the ANU School of Music on Ngunnawal Country in Canberra for the last 4 weeks. No, they have their fourth rehearsal tonight, actually. That's their fourth rehearsal. And then I'll be at the last rehearsal next Tuesday. And then we'll gather on the Thursday, the 14th, to sing it with you and beautiful young Gubbi Gubbi artist Layla Barnett, who is incredibly excited to be singing with you. She just recently turned 13. So, yeah, she's a really... Pardon me?
Fantastic. So just 13.
Yeah, she's only 13, but she's an old soul. Her father's First Nations and her mum is Sri Lankan. So she comes from very rich and diverse sort of folk histories. And she's also going to be singing one of Dr. Gurumul's songs in the concert as well. So the whole concert's sort of themed around your song, Let Love Rule, which I think is really a masterpiece work. And then on the Saturday, you're going to be presenting your latest body of work with your band, which I think is Stephen Magnuson, Sam Anning, and Eki Veltime.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So how did you discover those guys? Because they're sort of more jazz musicians, I guess.
Sally's going to be there too. I didn't know.
Oh, Sally. Oh, man. Awesome. So we get Sally Dasty from Titus as well. That's so special. Wow.
Sung with Sally for a little while now, a couple of years,
Yeah. Oh, man. Titus were my heroes growing up. They were sort of, I remember seeing them at actually folk festivals about 25 years ago. And and I've luckily got to sing with them at the Nuckinya Ruby concert in Sydney. Right. Which was very special. Yeah.
Special concert, that. Yeah.
Sure was. I felt very lucky to be there. So what sort of songs will you be presenting with Sam and Eki and Stephen and Sally?
Oh, like I said, the anthology, so a lot of the old songs, but but when you're playing with a combination like Eki Valvai on violin and mandolin too as well, some one or two songs.
Yeah.
And Sam Manning on double bass and Steve on guitar.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different how we interpret the songs. They really, really I don't know, sit behind the song and really let they're great players, but they let the song shine. You know?
Yeah, I think that's so true of those players, because they're all genius musicians, Stephen and Sam and Eki, instrumentalists, and they could easily play about 100 notes, but instead they choose to play, 2 or 3 notes and make them really meaningful and beautiful and support the song, as you say.
Oh, it's just beautiful what we're able to do, you know. So it's going to be, I think people are really going to enjoy that combination, and and have a better idea of the song, rather than listen to a whole lot of instruments sort of distracting from that.
Well, your words are very powerful, so I mean, everyone really just wants to hear you sing and talk, so it's great that you've got a band that is able to make a beautiful, gentle world for the song to flourish.
And of course, you know, I always yarn, tell stories, you know, like you said, part of who I am in folk music, you know, tell a story about the song, or maybe not necessarily about the song, but where I was at the time when that song was written. So who knows? Just I never have anything planned in my head. It's just all pretty organic.
I think for us, we're incredibly honoured, because this will be your last concert on Ngunnawal Country in Canberra. And so I know that the elders are very excited. The Ngunnawal elders are coming on that day to come to your concert, and then we're going to have a yarning circle after the concert. So they're very excited to meet you and to sort of have a chat. And we've also got a small gift that's been made from a tree from Ngunnawal Country to sort of commemorate that, you know, that last concert here. So we're super thrilled, and I just can't wait for you to hear Layla. She's a very special soul, and I love, you know, whenever I've been in community, the elders are all about getting the children involved and, you know, sharing the stories. And so I think something like this for Layla will be, and also young Alinta Barlow, who's an emerging Ngunnawal artist. She's sort of, she may not even be 30. She's really young. Sort of, I see this concert as a bit of a symbolic, you know, passing of the torch between an elder like yourself and the next generation of First Nations artists coming through.
I understand perfectly, and that's what I'm sort of more on about now these days. Is talking to younger up and coming singer-songwriters, musicians, and so as a way of you know, me passing on what I've been doing, so that they can continue to be the storytellers and the singers of today.
And I recently just finished reading, well, I'm not quite finished, but I've been reading Tell Me Why, your beautiful book, which is such a wonderful source for people to learn about your life and your journey with music. And of course, your great love, the great love of your life, the beautiful late Auntie Ruby. I remember meeting you guys at the Arias about 25 years ago, and I felt so out of place. I was like, what am I doing here? And thankfully we were seated near each other, and I was like, awesome, here's some real people that I can talk to. And ever since then, you've both been so gracious and welcoming and open to my crazy ideas about having big choirs and whatever, singing along. So
Ruby had visions of that already. And orchestras even, you know.
Well, I remember seeing the concert with the Australian Art Orchestra too. That was a beautiful thing. Well, we can't wait to help celebrate your amazing journey as a songwriter and a storyteller and a peacemaker for this world. And I think more and more allowing love to rule our hearts, as you instruct us to do in Let Love Rule, is really the way we need to live our lives. So we can't wait to sing with you on Ngunnawal Country in a number of sleeps.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, be well, Uncle Archie. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll see you.